All right, peace, peace, peace. Greetings, 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 family. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Hold on, let me bring this camera down. Some right there so we can talk. All right. Greetings, family. Greetings, greetings, greetings. All right, this is Professor Griff, and this is the nighttime version of Arm the Masses. All right, I decided to come on tonight simply because there's some things I wanted to kind of run down. Get your take on it. Oh, that's ugly. All right. Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah, as we allow some people to come on in and filter, and they're not used to me coming on at this time, so I can understand the hesitation. Don't worry about it. All right. Let me put some music behind this thing here. Oh. All right. Now we got some music playing. We got some other things. Robert Brown, peace. What's good with you? Goddess Yamaya. The goddess Yamaya is in the building. All right. Sankofa. Sankofa Face Yoga. All right. Y'all be coming up with these names. For real. From one griff to another. All right. I'm not sure which griff you are, but yeah. All right. Salute, family. All right. This is Professor Griff, and this is actually the evening version of Arm the Masses. All right. On the Masses right here on Black Power Media Reloaded. All right. All right, today, fam, something caught more attention. I just said to myself, well, let me come on and have a brief discussion about it. I think if we lay some information out, I think we can make sense of this thing. I'm pretty sure we can make sense of this thing. Collectively putting our minds together, I'm sure we can make sense of this thing and what it's doing and what it's not doing. All right. Okay. No. That music. No, we can't do that. We can't do that. No, we can't. We can't do that. I don't know what my man was singing. No, we can't do that. All right. We're going to be talking about Liberation Day. According to your president, Mr. Donald Trump, declared this Liberation Day. Yes, I lied to you not, family. This is Liberation Day. And today, he's going to put National Guard troops on the ground, boots on the ground in D.C. All right. Federal takeover of the police department there in D.C. All right. There's a few things I want to kind of talk to people about while everyone's getting in and getting settled. All right. I'm going to open up the phone lines for people to come on and dialogue. You're Griffin as well. All right. Yeah, thanks. Maybe we're related. I'm not sure. All right. If you short, you look like you're from Ethiopia or Somalia, then we might be related. If your dad is a Blackfoot Native American, we probably related somewhere down the line. I'll see you at the family reunion. All right. All right. So let me see if I can pull up the actual press conference so you guys can see it, so we can all get on the same page. Because I always say no investigation, no right to speak. All right. Hold on for a second. Let me go back to the comments. Let me go here and see if I can actually pull up the actual part of the press conference for your president. Did his thing. Okay. Let's play it.
Wow. I've been up here a lot. I've never seen a crowd like this. I think we need a ballroom, and that's happening. It's going to be a beautiful ballroom. This is really a lot of people, most I've ever seen in this room. And we're here for a very serious purpose, very serious purpose. Something's out of control, but we're going to put it in control very quickly, like we did on the southern border. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly. And you people are victims of it, too. You know, you're reporters, and I understand a lot of you tend to be on the liberal side, but you don't want to get mugged and raped and shot and killed. And you all know people and friends of yours that happened. And so you can be anything you want, but you want to have safety in the streets. You want to be able to leave your apartment or your house where you live and feel safe and go into a store to buy a newspaper or buy something. And you don't have that now. The murder rate in Washington today is higher than that of Bogota, Colombia, Mexico City, some of the places that you hear about as being the worst places on earth, much higher. This is much higher. The number of car thefts has doubled over the past 5 years, and the number of carjackings has more than tripled. Murders in 2023 reached the highest rate probably ever. They say 25 years, but they don't know what that means because it just goes back 25 years. Can't be worse. Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs and homeless people. And we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to take it. Just like we did on our southern border. Nobody comes through our southern border anymore. 3 months in a row, we had zero. I don't know if that's right, but the people that do the work, it's a very liberal group of people, actually, and they actually said zero for the last 3 months. Nobody thought a thing like that was possible. And, you know.
Let me stop right there and say this, family. All right. I'm not sure if y'all are noticing the words that he's using, the key words that he's using. He's kind of talking about, yeah, let's just pull away from him for a minute. Hold on for a second. All right. Now we're going to pull away from him for a second. And, yeah. So the idea now of the language that he's using when he's talking about Liberation Day. So let me ask a series of questions, and then maybe we could collectively put our minds together to answer them. When he says liberate, when he says liberation, liberate from whom? Who is he talking about liberating DC from? Now, keep in mind, family, y'all all know I wrote a book dealing with this particular subject, symbology. And I broke down what the District of Columbia is, the initials DC. So the District of Columbia is square miles. I'm not sure how many square miles, but it's just a square. All right. Okay. So if that is the case, the District of Columbia represents the military wing of it. It's a city state, and it represents the military wing of the 3 city states. All right. Okay. The military wing of the 3 city states. Okay. If you don't know what a city state is, go look it up. We don't have time to kind of break it all down to you. I believe London is the financial wing. The Vatican is the religious wing. The United States is the military wing of one of the three city states. All right. Black people deemed Washington, D.C. as the chocolate city. All right. And we've always viewed it as a chocolate city. D.C. was so daggone black. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, I think when we begin to kind of look at exactly what he's saying, it almost sounds eerily familiar of something that happened before. Now, we need to have everyone look up what martial law actually is. So then when we say the term martial law, you'll know what we're talking about. So DC is 68.34 square miles. Thank you very much, Marcellus, on point with the math. All right. All right. With that said, if he's trying to liberate DC and he listed all of the things that's going on in DC in reference to a list of crimes and things that he's kind of talking about. So he's going to liberate the District of Columbia. All right. Not necessarily you, not necessarily the people. He already says who he wants. He ran down a list of who he says he wants it safe for. Now, mind you, Trump just ordered troops into LA, into California. Keep that in mind now. This has become a habit, a pattern, so to speak. So whenever there's people exercising their constitutional right, and even when I say constitutional rights, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to condone the violence and the criminality and everything that's going on in DC. It's a certain amount of crime in every city. And according to Donald Trump, they're not only going to stop in DC, they're going to work their way to Baltimore, Virginia, Baltimore, and other areas. And every city is going. Now, listen, ICE is the number one in the top funded police agency. All right, in the United States. All right, in the United States, ICE, Border Patrol, got billions of dollars to work with. All right. So then now all of a sudden the Epstein thing comes up, and all of a sudden now Donald Trump is sending troops all over America. Anytime there's a little skirmish, anytime there's a little disagreement, that the mayor, the government of a governor of these particular places can't, you thinking they can't handle it? Well, I'm sure they can, but all of a sudden now we send troops in. All right. Well, troops in to do what against homeless people? I'm not sure if y'all saw the activities that go on in and around 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C. Thank you very much. That was my next point. If crime in D.C. is at a 30-year low, why send troops in now? So you send the troops in, a couple of incidents go down, all right, and then they want to issue martial law. So if you don't know what martial law is, it almost reminiscent now of the Rex 84 King Alfred plan. All right. So what I need everyone to do right now is pull up Rex 84 King Alfred plan. If y'all could do that. Locate it. Come on, we can do it. It's not hard, family. Come on. Rex 84, REX -84. The King Alfred plan. Alpha plan. If you haven't heard of this, now you have. I'm sure you have. Those of us that study, those of us that know, we know what this is already. All right. Now, let me say this. For all of the conspiracy heads out there and the anti-conspiracy heads, every time we do a deep dive and we break down things like Willie Lynch letter, King Alfred plan, and some of these other operations that I could go over, but I'm not going to talk about those right now. All of a sudden, they always are written off as either conspiracy theory or fictional. All right? It's written off as fictional. It's just fiction. All right? What was the plan before under Jimmy Carter? I think it was Kissinger that set it in motion, where they wanted to something 2000. It'll come to me. Where they wanted to reduce the population. Bill Gates just got turned down by the female president of Namibia. And I'm sure y'all know the history of Namibia and Africa, where Namibia went through a genocide committed by white Germans in Namibia. So then when Bill Gates approached the president talking about coming in and doing a vaccination program, they're like, no, not going for that. So when we start talking about these kind of programs and we do a deep dive and unravel them, all of a sudden it's fiction. All of a sudden it's made up and it's conspiracy theory. Well, these things have happened and they are happening and did happen, and they're very real because it not only happened to them, it didn't happen to them, it happened to us. Right? Okay. So then even when we took the Willie Lynch letter and pieced it apart, oh man, somebody said that's fiction, it's made up, blah, blah, blah. But it actually happened to us. And they use it as a plan on us. So miss me with the fictional stuff. All right. When you look at and read and dissect Rex 84 King Alfred plan, you'll see exactly what's going on now. And you can almost have it lay it parallel to what's going on and what they wrote about in the Rex 84 King Alfred plan. All right. Okay. I have a few notes here that I might want to kind of dive into. All right, so I have a concise bullet point breakdown of the King Alfred plan based on, now check this out, based on the fictional scheme introduced by John A. Williams. And I'm looking at John A. Williams over here, a black man accepting speech. Why are you going to base it on a scheme, on a speech? Why can't we actually base it on what was written by the United States government? All right. So what we want to do is we want to go back and find the actual United States government. Hold up. U.S. government. Rex 84. King Alfred plan. King Alfred plan. All right. All right. While that's doing that, all right, we can come back over here and let that do what it's going to do. Origin and Gender, the fictional CIA orchestrated plan created by John A. Williams in his 1967 novel, The Man Who Cried I Am. Purpose and premise portrayed as a contingency plan to suppress a black uprising in the United States by forcibly relocating black Americans into camps, especially a mass intern program. All right. Now, this is supposed to be a fictional plan. Ernest Grant, what's good with you, man? Ernston, on top of things. We are approaching the year 2030, 2035, where it's predicted that they are going to become the minority in this country. So then if a population who claims superiority are going to become the minority, what do you think that particular part of this society has to do? Number one, build a safe space for them to live, in which they're doing, I believe, in is it Arizona? No, Arkansas. Number two, continue to unalive masses of black and brown people. All right. Number three, shut the borders down. Rid themselves of anyone that does not look like them and get them out of the country. And then, all right. At the same time, hit them with some jabs, some uppercuts, and some hooks. Keep everybody drunk, high, out of their. All right, right. What is the SSM? Kenneth McCall. That's cute, but come on, spell it out, man. You got time. I got time. We here. I think that's the document that I was looking for. Under Jimmy Carter, I believe it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. Come on, bro. I'm not sure if it was a national security memorandum under Henry Kissinger. I'm not asking you for the name, Kenneth. Tell me what the initials, acronym NSSM stands for. But anyway, the King Alfred Plan, codename Rex 84. King Alfred Plan, in the event of widespread, continuing, and coordinated racial disturbances in the United States, King Alfred, at the discretion of the president, is to be put into action immediately. Okay, they're going to put this in action immediately. All right, so I'm going to read the King Alfred Plan. You look at everything that's going on in America and the moves that they're making. Let me tell you something. You better start connecting the dots. You might see something that might be isolated, like rounding up people, and you might say, okay, that's them. I ain't got nothing to worry about. All right, then you might see them deploying troops to California. That's not me. I'm not worried about that. That's not me. I live over here in Atlanta or wherever. All right. But once you start connecting the dots, all right, funding other countries to increase their prison population and this kind of thing, it becomes a problem. All right. Because when they come get them tonight, guess who they coming for tomorrow? That's right. You. All right. Let me finish this. Participating federal agencies, National Security Council, Department of Justice, Central Intelligence Agency. The CIA is not supposed to operate inside the borders of the United States government. But if it's this kind of emergency, they will have the CIA operate. The Department of Defense, that's the DOD. Federal Bureau of Investigations, Department of Interior. Participating state agencies under federal jurisdiction, National Guard. Are you hearing what I'm saying? National Guard. I'm going to say it one more time. National Guard. State police. Participating local agencies under federal jurisdiction. City police. All right? All of these people will be involved. Multinational jurisdictional task force will come together. All right? In the case of the emergency, they're going to enact Rex 84 King Alfred Plan. All right? They mapped out 10 regions in case of emergency. Minority members will be evacuated from the cities by federalized National Guard units. What did I just say, family? I'm reading directly to you the King Alfred Plan, and you're witnessing today exactly what's going on. Let me read it again for you. Under the King Alfred Plan, the nation has been divided into 10 regions. In case of emergency, minority members will be evacuated from the cities by federalized National Guard units, local and state police, and if necessary, by units of the regular armed forces using public and military transportation, and detained in nearby military installations until a further course of action has been decided. large convention centers, stadiums. All right. This is where people will be housed. All right. The 10 regions are, listen good. Number 1, the capital region. What is the capital region? What is the capital region? Number 1, capital region. Number 2, northeast region. Number 3, southeast region. Number 4, Great Lakes region. Number 5, South Central region. Number 6, Deep South region. Number 7, Deep South region 2. Thank you very much, Ellis in Wonderland. 8, Great Plains Rocky Mountain region. 9, Southwest region. 10, West Coast region. All right, hold on. Let me unplug this thing because this thing going to keep going out. Okay. No attempt will be made to seal off the Canadian and Mexican borders. All right, no attempt will be made to seal off the Canadian and Mexican borders. I'm going to say something. I do not want y'all to come at Professor Griff any old kind of way. I'm just saying this to say it. The wall that they're building on the Mexican border, as Goody Mob said in their song, I forgot which song it was. Maybe y'all can help me out. All right. Is that wall to keep people out or to keep people in? Let me continue. Secretary Department of Interior. It goes on. King Alfred, King of England, who slaughtered thousands under the guise of protecting the European religion of Christianity. As a result, he was revered as one of the most noble kings in the history of England. King Alfred. This is why they call it the King Alfred Plan, Rex 84. Further on, it says they don't have such usable material in their dossier and have been approached to take government posts mostly as ambassadors. So these individuals, there's 12 major minority organizations that are all familiar with the 22 million Black people that are in America now. 40 to 60, maybe to 75 million Black people. All right. Now, dossiers have been compiled on the leaders of the organizations and you could thank J. Edgar Hoover and the COINTELPRO counterintelligence program. All right. So now they have a dossier on all of your leaders. Everyone that comes on YouTube like this and just wants to kind of give this kind of information, they have a dossier on all of us. All right. The material contained in many of the dossiers and is a threat. All right. To them. They basically said it's a threat to them. And our threat to reveal the material has considerably held in check by some of their leaders. Leaders who do not have such material in their dossier have been approached to take government posts, mostly as ambassadors, mostly as ambassadors, and primarily in African countries. Let me finish this. The promise of these positions also has materially contributed to a temporary slowdown in minority activities, simply because those individuals that we voted in to protect us and our interests have been given positions overseas. Send them overseas, get them out of the way, make them ambassadors, get them out of the way so they can't disrupt things. All right. These individuals are supposed to be speaking for us, but yet they have these positions as ambassadors and government posts and these kind of positions. And the United States government gets them out of the country to get them out of the way to put in place what they want to put in place. If you're just joining us, I am breaking down and going into Rex 84, the King Alfred plan, because the Rex 84 King Alfred plan sounds eerily familiar as to what's going on today in DC as your president, Donald J. Trump, asked the National Guard to come and sending in the National Guard in case there is violence, I take it, in the city. All right. They said they're going to take the city back. This is Liberation Day. And I asked the question, liberated from whom? All right. They said they want to take the city back. Well, who owns the city? Who has the city? Don't DC have a black mayor? Haven't we always called DC Chocolate City? Why do we call it the Chocolate City? Because there were so many black people there. If you go back and do the history of the old footage of DC, right down the street from the White House was the hood. Yes, right down the street from the White House was the hood. So if you're just joining us, I'm breaking down Rex 84 King Alfred plan. All right. So if you're just joining us, everyone take a deep breath. We're about to go a little bit deeper. All right. If you're around this Sunday, I actually have a presentation happening, a class happening. Warriors in the Garden presents Professor Griff's Writers Workshop. All right, 8/17/25. Sunday at 7 p.m. It's a 2-hour online writers workshop. All right. What could you benefit from a writers workshop? We're going to break down songwriting. We're going to break down song structure. We're going to break down a few things dealing with everything surrounding the music industry and just writers, whether you write poetry, whether you write books, whether you're an artist and you do hip hop, R&B, whatever it is. We're having a writers workshop, a 2-hour online writers workshop this Sunday. All right. My number is 678-557-2919. You can either hit me up or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now, and or just text me 678-557-2919 or go to my website. All right. Public and then the letters nme.me. All right. Public nme.me. All right. Songwriters Workshop this weekend. All right. Let's jump back into this. All right. I'm going to dive into the next phase of it. The reason why they send these particular individuals, these so-called black leaders, send them out the country, give them positions, pay them a little extra, give them a raise, get them out of the way. Let me name for you the organizations that they have not only targeted in the past, but kept a dossier on all of the leaders. Now, if they did this back then, we're talking in the 80s. What happened? What else happened in the 80s? Late 70s, early 80s, hip hop was born, right? Conscious hip hop was on the move. People getting knowledge yourself. All right. It was reminiscent of the 60s. People weren't going for it no more. All right. So they had to come up with a plan, a contingency plan. All right. These are the organizations. It says, however, we do not expect these slowdowns to be of any long duration, because there are always new and distant elements joining these organizations with the potential power to replace the old leadership. So they said the black leadership is going to die off. We want to affect the new ones that are coming in. So let's make them Democrats. Let's make them Republicans. Let's shift their loyalty from black struggle and revolution. Let's shift it to a party. Let's give them a position, make them comfortable in that position. All right. And if not, send them off to a different country to do our bidding. All right. It goes on to say, all organizations and their leaders are under constant 24-hour surveillance. Did y'all hear what I said? Under 24-hour surveillance, constant 24-hour surveillance. All right. Let me give you the list of the groups. Do you have a pen and piece of paper? Black Ace says Washington, D.C.'s population is about 43% black, 39% white, 4% Asian, 8% multiracial, and 4 to 5% other races. Around 11 to 12% are Hispanic or Latino. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. So, Griff, do you think one of these reasons they upgrade the U.S. transportation throughout the U.S. in order for the King Alfred plan? I'm sorry, it's not Alpha. It's Alfred. It's like Alfred. Like your friend Alfred? Yeah. All right. Rex 84 to happen. Not only that, cashless society. How you going to move? How you going to move around? Because once it goes down, ATM machines are going to shut down. All right. So if you don't have cash, gold, something tangible to exchange, to barter, you're not going to be able to move around. You're not going to be able to get gas. So most of us are too fat and sloppy to get on a bike, all right, as a means of transportation. So if the National Guard has been deployed, it says that right here in the King Alfred plan. Alfred, A-L-F-R-E-D. All right. Here are the groups. Number 1, the Black Muslims. That's the Nation of Islam. 2, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC. 3, Congress of Racial Equality, CORE. 4, Uhuru Movement. 5, Group on the Advanced Leadership, GOAL, GOAL. 6, Freedom Now Party, FNP. 7, United Black Nationalists of America, UBNA. 8, the New Pan-African Movement, TNPAM. The New Pan-African Movement. The New Pan-African Movement. All right. 9, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC. 10, the National Urban League, NUL. 11, National Association of the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP. 12, Committee on Racial and Religious Progress, CORARP. Are you listening to what I'm saying? If not, press the pause button for a minute and listen to this next line. I read the organizations, right? Check this out. Note, in the appropriate time to be designated by the president, the leaders of some of these organizations are to be detained only when it's clear that they cannot prevent the emergency. Woo! All right, let's continue. If anyone wants this document, all right, you can hit me up at 678-557-2919. King Alfred plan. Rex 84. All right, y'all know how it works. Hit me up. I'll send you a link. Donate something to the platform so we can keep this thing moving. I get you the information, the King Alfred plan, plus some other information that you're going to need to support the King Alfred plan. Because as soon as you mention this, someone's going to challenge you on it, but you're going to need some support material. I have the support material for you. All right. Let me finish the list. Hold on now. All right. Here we go. Note, at the appropriate time to be designated by the president, the leaders of some of these organizations are to be detained only when it's clear that they cannot prevent the emergency. Working with the local public officials during the first critical hours, all other leaders are to be detained at once. Or you calling yourself a leader, you're going to be detained at once. Of all of those organizations that I mentioned and the new organizations that are springing up, Black Lives Matter and all these other organizations that are out there. All right? Okay. Now, moving on. The memo is being submitted in lieu of full report from the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The report is now in preparation. All right? So they're going to disseminate this information throughout all of the particular agencies. All right? So when they begin to round up people, all right, all of them will be on the same page. So all of y'all that are walking around talking about our government this and our government that and our this and no, their government. They don't include you. All right? They don't include you. All right? So when they start rounding us up, they're not going to stop and ask you for your ID. All right? They're going to put you, because of your complexion, you're going to go in a certain section. I ain't trying to sound like a rapper, but I'm saying that I'm saying for real. All right? Here we go. Here is the greatest concentration of minority in the Deep South, or in the Deep South, the Eastern Seaboard, the Great Lakes region, and the West Coast. While the national population exceeds that of the minority by more than 10 times, we must realistically take into account the following. 1, an estimated 40-50% of the white population will not, for various reasons, engage the minority during an emergency. 50%, half of white people are not going to engage black people. Because when the ish hit the fan, yeah, they're not going to engage black people. 2, American armed forces are spread around the world. A breakout of war abroad means fewer troops at home to handle this emergency. So they got to bring the troops back home from the 76 army military bases around the planet, around the globe. They got to bring them home. All right. 3, local law enforcement officials must contain the emergency until help arrives. So your local law enforcement is going to hold it down until the troops arrive. When the troops arrive, listen to me, black police officer, bourgeois, boulets, the rest of y'all, listen. When it goes down, when the reinforcements come, they're going to take the firearms from every black person that's in the military and on the police force, and you might get detained. Because they don't know what side that you're going to flip and operate on. So they have to take your firearms from you. All right? It's a very real dynamic. You swear these people are on your side. But when it go down, when the reinforcements come, they said it right here in the Rex 84 King Alfred plan. Local law enforcement officials must contain the emergency until help arrives. Though it may mean fighting a superior force, New York City, for example, has a $25,000 man police force, but there are about 1 million minority members in the city. When they're using the term minority, they're talking about black people. We are reading from the King Alfred, Rex 84 King Alfred plan. We are confident that the minority would hold any city it took for only a few hours, meaning that if black people took a city when the Rex 80 King Alfred plan is announced, they will only keep it for a few hours. After the stores are looted, all right, and there's chaos in the streets, they're saying black people, minority is the term that they use, will only hold any city for no more than a few hours, simply because the lack of weapons. They listed the lack of weapons. That's not Professor Griff. They're saying because of the lack of weapons. All right. Now, this is Rex 84. This is 2025. All right, hold on. We are confident that the minority would hold any city it took for only a few hours because of the lack of weapons. Facilities, logistics, all put the minority in a final disadvantage. Black people don't know logistics, have no infrastructure, and no facilities. All right. Since the Korean War, this department has shifted minority members of the armed forces to areas where they are listed on page 3 and 4. If you're in the military, more than likely, your loved ones are stationed overseas somewhere. So when Rex 84 King Alfred plan is set in motion, you won't be here to defend your family and or your people. They say combat is most likely to occur with an aim of the elimination through combat as many combat-trained military servicemen as possible. Today, the ratio of minority member combat deaths in Vietnam they are serving as advisors. So they sent 25,000 advisors to Vietnam. You know how foolish that sounds? Let's move on real quick. I don't want to be long. Below is the timetable for the King Alfred plan as tentatively suggested by the JCS, Joint Chiefs of Staffs, who recommend that the operation be made over a period of 8 hours. They said they could lock this thing down in 8 hours. FBA, you think they're coming for you? Democrats, Republicans, black, you think they're coming for you? Boule, you think they're coming for you? Black Boule. Come on, I'm just asking questions. Y'all don't mind me asking the questions, do y'all? All right. Here it is in 8 hours. Local police and minority leaders in action head off the emergency. Countdown to the 8-hour begins the moment the president determines the emergency to be national. Right now, it's only in D.C. All right? But the countdown begins. Coordinating all of the military, coordinating the multi-jurisdictional task force. All right? For long duration. And the long duration, they consider this to be 8 hours in length. County police join local police departments in the 7th hour. State police join county and local police in the 6th hour. Federal marshals join state, county, and local forces in the 5th hour. National Guard federalized, held in readiness, is activated in the 4th hour. Regular armed forces alerted, take positions. Minority troops divided. What did I say? Minority troops divided and detained, along with all white sympathizers under guard in the 3rd hour. In the 3rd hour that it goes down, black people that are in the military and police agencies, you will be detained. all minority leaders, national and local leaders, rabble rousers, people claiming they're revolutionaries, will be detained in the second hour. Next, president addresses minority on radio television. The president will address the minorities. The president will address the minorities. In the 0 hour, all units under regional commands into the emergency. 0 hour, they will issue a committee report. In 8 hours, they will lock this whole thing down. In 8 hours, they will lock this thing down. This is the Rex 84 King Alfred plan. Now, real quick, let's go back and see what your president did today in Washington, D.C. What did he do? He had a press conference yesterday. I believe the press conference was today, but they sent the memo out, pardon me, yesterday. I saw the memo. I don't know where I saw the memo at. I believe I snatched it. I'm not sure. I was extremely busy. I did. Donald J. Trump. We're having a news conference tomorrow in the White House. I'm going to make our capital safer and more beautiful than it ever was before. The homeless have to be moved out. That's the first thing that they're going to do. Get rid of the homeless. The homeless has to be moved out. My question to you, moved out where? Where are you going to move the homeless to? Where? He goes on to say, immediately, we will give you places to stay, but far from the capital. Wait. You're going to move the homeless out. It basically said, he said, we're going to move the homeless out. And basically what he's saying is, it's going to be far away from the capital. This is what your president said on national TV today, but he wrote this in a memo that he sent out to the staffers at the White House. All right. So it's an attack on the homeless. The homeless will be moved out. All right. The criminals, you don't have to move out. We're going to put you in jail where you belong. Now, this is from the President of the United States. This is the memo that I'm reading. All right. This is the memo that I'm reading. Donald J. Trump. All right. It's going to happen very, 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 very fast. All right. Thank you very much. FEMA camps. Yep. Just like the border, we went from millions pouring in to zero in the last few months. This will be easier. Be prepared. There will be no Mr. Nice Guy. We want our capital back. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump. I spoke at a conference the other day. Black father and son talk to the black fathers and the leaders of organizations. All right. I'm saying to you, and I said it, and it's documented. I said it the other day, and this is what happens today. I said it's not a question of if, but when it go down. All right. What I read to you was Rex 84 King Alpha plan. What I just read to you was a memo sent to the White House staffers from Donald Trump. All right. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to open up the phone line because I could see them issuing martial law, enacting martial law. I could see it happening. I'm not sure if you see it. I said it the other day in the conference. It's not a question, but if, but when. And here we are. Now, this thing that Professor Griff gave y'all years ago is starting to look very, 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 very real. When I said you need to develop your black pack, you remember that? Come on, family. You remember that. You remember. Yeah. He said he's going to move on to Baltimore. He mentioned a few other cities. He mentioned a few other cities. Wow. Louis Muhammad and Farrakhan said Trump will be the last U.S. president. Wow. 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 Ernest, you're right. Africa's issuing passports for all 54 countries in Africa to the diaspora right now. Ernest, let me ask you something. With all of the mess that FBA is talking about boycotting Africans and hating Africans and all the stuff that they're spewing, all right, we'd have to have some cultural dialogue, all right? Because the way black people are viewed here is just, yeah, it's just something else, man. It's something else. For real. For real. Yo, Angelo, I'm doing a live show right now. I'm gonna hit you back, bro. I got you. Peace. My man Angelo from the D. All right. I'm not gonna hold y'all. If no one wants to come on, that's a beautiful thing. That means I did my job. If y'all, I'm gonna put my phone number in the chat one more time. 678 557 2919. If you would like a copy of the King Alfred plan and it's about 4 of the documents that I have to get out to you guys. I didn't get a chance to go over them because some of them are kind of lengthy. All right. I'll put my number in the chat. Text me, hit me up. I'll send you a link. Donate to the cause, to the platform. I'll get the information out to you. You got it. Everyone that's already supporting the platform, I'm going to get that to you tonight. All right. Just for GP. All right. Okay. All right. Where do we go from here? What is the solution? All right. I'm sure other people have a solution. One brother said 54 countries in Africa opening up their borders to us. All right. You could have dual citizenship. All right. Some people say, I'm not going nowhere. This is my country. I built this. We were here first. Blah, 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 blah. That argument. Well, stand your ground. Do what you're going to do. All right. But it's like playing chess. They're making their move. All right. our good brother Dr. Ray Higgins has a lecture on this topic on his channel. What is his channel, Sankofa? What is his channel? Family. This is not a situation where you could just go run, hide under the bed, under the cover, or don't answer the door when these people come knocking. It ain't that kind of party. You see what's happening with these ICE raids. Stop playing. Now, let me take a commercial break. Serious Mind Brain Tonic is on sale right now. And the Resurrection Formula is on sale right now as we speak. Brain Tonic, Resurrection Formula. Brothers, y'all need this. Brothers and sisters need this, all right? Clear away that brain fog. All right, let me put the link. Let me run the banner across the bottom of the screen where you can purchase it from. www.devitribewellness.com. DEVI, tribewellness.com. Order now. All right, it's only about 40 bottles of this, family. So make sure you'll get yours now. Serious Minds Brain Tonic, and of course, the Resurrection Formula. All right. And as y'all should already know, if y'all tune in to the platform, I released my ebook and my audio book, all right, called The Birth. All right. Let me grab the camera. I don't know if we're going to get disconnected, but let me grab the camera. Let me turn the button, hit that button right there, turn it around so you can see the screen. All right, family. This is The Birth. All right. I released the ebook and I released an audio book. Family, you have to get both of these, the ebook and the audio book. All right. Everyone take out some food stamps, Captain Crunch coupons, whatever you have. Support the platform, Arm the Masses and Serious Minds. Purchase the ebook and purchase the audio book. We'd really appreciate it. All right. The actual physical book is coming. All right. This fall. I did it this way simply because there's a lack of people reading in the among our people. All right. So we have to take steps to get our people to get this information. All right. Listening to this book over a couple of beats, I think that'll work for me. All right. If you want the Resurrection Formula and the Serious Minds Brain Tonic, go to www.devitribewellness.com. All right. If you want the ebook and the audio book, go to www.professorgriff.bandcamp.com. Professorgriff.bandcamp.com. It's at the bottom of your screen. All right, hold on. Or you can go to the website, professorgriff.me, and the other website, publicenemy.me, publicenemy.me. All right. All right. If you just want to give a donation and support the platform, you can do that too. The information is at the bottom of your screen. It will definitely help the channel out for what we're trying to do. All right. All right, let's get back. Liberation Day, takeover of D.C., District of Columbia. All right. National Guard troops have boots on the ground in Washington, D.C. Dr. Ray Higgins, the King Alfred plan. Go check out Ray Higgins' channel. Google it. All right, the information to come up. I'm sure Ray Higgins took his time, unlike Professor Griff had to run through it. I'm sure. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go look it up. All right. Ray Higgins. King Wow. Hold on. Oh, yeah. All right. Ray Hagen's King Alfred plan is there. Go check it out, family. Support Ray Hagen. You're right, Robert Brown. International solidarity is a must. Now is the time for Black Americans to come together with our brothers in the Caribbean islands, in Brazil, in Latin America, and or in all the 54 countries in and on the continent. All right. Yeah, Ernest, I wanted to talk about that component, but I didn't want people to get all riled up because a lot of people are going to stay in their houses with no protection, no food, not a survival kit, nothing. And they really think they're just going to wait on Jesus to come back. And that's going to be the end of it. And everything is going to be hunky-dory and everything is going to be fine. And it's not. No, it's not going to happen. Nope. I read you 8-hour roundup. That's how it's going to go down. All right, family. I don't want to prolong this. No one is coming on. Support the ebook, support the audio book, support the products that we have on sale, the Resurrection Formula, and of course, Serious Minds Brain Tonic. All right. Go to www.devitriedwellness.com. That's www.devi, y'all say diva, but devitriedwellness.com. All right. You can get my ebook and audio book right there on professorgriff.bandcamp.com. www.professorgriff.bandcamp.com. All right. If you're having trouble getting it from those two places, go right here, publicnme.me. All right. I got to get out of here. Thank y'all very much for y'all's attention. Really appreciate y'all. All right. I will be on Wednesday at 12 o'clock, not 12 midnight, 12 o'clock during the day. All right. We have to continue this conversation. There's something I ran across that was kind of critical. This idea of manifest destiny. I should have added that to this conversation. But the idea of what's going down with our children at daycare centers. All right. It's a sensitive subject for me. So I'm going to wrestle with that and see if I even want to tackle that, because I get kind of emotional when it comes to the little ones. Even the situation with Tyler coming out of South Africa, I'm not understanding the demographic that supports her here in America, having to have that conversation, having to circle back around to having to deal with some of these FBA characters. All right. All right. It's your brother, Professor Griff. All right. Soldier in the cause of liberation struggle with our people, ready to unite with our people all across the country, all across the planet. I think that's something that we have to do. Now, we have to kind of come together. Matter of fact, we're putting in a position where we ain't got no other choice but to come together. So this international solidarity is a must, and it is. And we will come together. You're right, Ernest. I'm going to leave with that. Ernster, God helps those who help themselves. All right? Everyone, I'm going to need you to go to those sites that I gave you, support the platform. All right? Purchase an ebook, audio book, some tonics. All right? And I'll see y'all on the next one. Love y'all to life. This is Professor Griff. I'm out. Revolution is not an event. It's a full-blown process, man. Complete, constructive, conscious, cosmic change. Revolution to re-evolve. All right. Peace. Salute.